what did you do to be awarded the Medal of Merit, which is the highest honor, right? For
Second
LAF,
highest.
second
Yeah,
highest.
because
What's the highest one?
Medal of Valor
Okay, so you got the Medal of Valor
for the shooting.
for the shooting. So the Medal of Merit, what'd you get that for?
We had a structure fire down on Santa Monica Boulevard in Highland, which is almost in the outskirts of Hollywood. And it was a building that we've been to many times before, and it was a reported structure fire. And we knew through pre-fire planning where to place our apparatus, specifically our aerial to the roof. And we had an actual fire on the 6th floor. And so another crew came in and they spotted their aerial to the front of the building where we never would have done it because there's heavy electrical lines that run on Santa Monica Boulevard. So the firefighter that runs the truck threw his aerial ladder underneath those high tension wires. And those wires were high tension, about 4,500 volts of electricity, high tension. Most lines are like 750, 760, but the higher up they are, the bigger they are. The transmission lines, that's high electricity. So we were spotting. I hear on the radio that there's a fireman down on the aerial ladder to the front of the building. So I sent my crew. I gave one of my firefighters the responsibility of running the operation on the roof. I'm going to go see what's the problem out front of the building with a fireman down on the aerial. So I see two other firefighters that were up the aerial, and they were working to try and bring a firefighter. Apparently, he came in contact with 4,500 volts electricity because as he was climbing through the area underneath the aerial, the lines were about 18 inches above his head. So as he got his breathing apparatus captured the electrical lines. So he grounded himself on the aerial and then pushed off the wire, and that was charged. Those are charged lines. So he was hit with what we believe were 4,500 volts of electricity. So the engineers were responsible to provide water, get the hose lines as the fires were, guys were getting to fight fire. They saw him go down, and because they saw a helmet fall to the ground, that got their attention because he's up 70 feet on an aerial ladder, and he was now electrocuted, and now he fell. And he fell, and the way he fell is that his legs split between his thighs, his two legs, by a rung. So one leg was on the higher end. He had a rung, which is the step for the ladder, and then his other leg was on the other side. So he was now hanging. He wasn't going to fall off, but we had to get him up and out. But we had to lift half his body up, but we couldn't get the power to lift him because as we're lifting up, I'm telling the firefighters, don't go higher than my hands. Obviously, we got electrocuted, and we don't know if the energy is on or off. I think that it was off because it was de-energized by the initial electrocution, so it must have been off because we were also too close. So we got to make this rescue because now he's pulseless and non-breathing. So I quickly thought, and then on my way up the ladder, I told another company to come with a defibrillator because I'm figuring he's got electrocuted. So another company was coming up, and so I went up the aerial, and now we're struggling to get him up. Can't get him. I mean, we can't be wasting a lot of time doing this, and we can't get up, lift him up because we're gonna lift him up in the wires. So it struck me, go down a couple rungs, and I said, break his body from his trunk up, break him down to me as I take him out, and then you grab his legs and pull him up. So now instead of his whole body pulling up, now I'm bending him over and they're pulling out his legs.
Yeah.
So he comes out like this. And so I didn't recognize who it was. It was, he had been electrocuted and I saw his face was foaming. And so now we're carrying him down the ladder, and then we passed him off to the guys that are at the bottom of the ladder, and they ripped his uniform off and defibrillated him right there. And that defibrillation, I think they had two defibrillations, and we had a pulse. And so I went to visit him, at the burn center. We have a beautiful burn center, the Grossman Burn Center that helps our firefighters when we get burned. And I went to visit him that was on a Friday night, was the electrocution. And Sunday he was alive and well and communicating with his family. He had just had some surface burns from the touching the electricity and palm to palm.
Wow.
So he retired after that. He probably thought that was his warning. But the guys that were up there first, the three of us received the second highest award for bravery, which is the Medal of Merit.
Okay, so you've been awarded the Medal of Valor. You've been awarded the Medal of Merit. You've got 3 special commendations for bravery. What do you have to do? You were awarded the Firefighter of the Year for 2005. What do you have to do to get that?
Well, that is a combination. Mostly, it's kind of like most of the guys that get it, they're you don't feel like you're in their league, and then you get called that you got it. You're like, no, there's no way. There are others more rewarding than I. So somebody nominates you, and then they go before the board, unbeknownst to you, that you've been nominated, and they present your package to a board of other firefighters, and they determine whether or not you should be the recipient of the Firefighter of the Year. And it's based on your personality, your work ethic, where you worked, fires that you've been to, recommendations by others. And I can tell you it's an honor to be with them because they go back to the 60s.
Wow.
Every year they pick, and every time they pick somebody, and luckily I'm included in that, it's like the best guys. Guys that really deserve it versus like woke or, well, you're this or you're that, and we need to wreck it. No, you are a deservant. And when most guys get up there, and what do they say? I'm not worthy to receive this, including me. But it just was a great event. I brought my grammar school teacher, a nun, and shared with her that honor, because like you don't get there by yourself.
Yeah.
You get that by partners like you or other guys you've worked with. And so to receive the Firefighter of the Year, we tease each other because, for the rest of your life, you'll get a 1 free lunch in the spring of the year, because they have the luncheon for the Firefighter of the Year to welcome the new recipient. And they've been if you look at the recipients, they're just always the top. I'm not saying me, the top notch guy, but the others, I look at them as like, you couldn't have picked a better person.
Right.
And the cream and there are some great guys that get nominated and gals that get nominated, but the guy that always wins is like the best of the best. So to be included in that crowd, it was a great honor for me and my family. They all got to come, and my priest buddies came, and it was just a great honor to have that.